The real reason Eileen Gu chose to compete for China over the United States. In 2019, skier Eileen Gu made headlines when she chose to represent China over her native United States. "I have decided to compete for China," she wrote on Instagram. "This was an incredibly tough decision for me to make. I am extremely thankful for US Ski and Snowboard and the Chinese Ski Association for having the vision and belief in me to make my dreams come true. I am proud of my heritage and equally proud of my American upbringings." She added, "The opportunity to help inspire millions of young people where my mom was born during the 2022 Beijing Olympic Winter Games is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to help to promote the sport I love. Through skiing, I hope to unite people, promote common understanding, create communication, and forge friendships between nations. If I can help to inspire one young girl to break a boundary, my wishes will have come true." She ended her post with 3 emojis: the American flag, the Chinese flag, and a red heart. Why did she choose China? "The US already has the representation," Gu told Time magazine ahead of the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina. "I like building my own pond." Time adds that she insists the potential to earn more representing Chinese companies didn't cross her mind, and Gu said, "I'm glad that there's enough money in the sport now for people to think that's a consideration." According to Fortune, Gu, at just 22, is the 4th highest paid woman in sports, making over $20 million a year. During the last Olympics, she told the Associated Press, "In the US, growing up, I had so many amazing idols to look up to. But in China, I feel like there are a lot fewer of those. I'd have a much greater impact in China than in the US, and that's ultimately why I made that decision." Her mom, Yang, moved to the US from China in the 1980s, but China does not allow dual citizenship. Olympians have to be citizens of the country they represent, but it remains unclear if Gu has renounced her American citizenship. There are geopolitical factors at play, and people just hate China generally. So it's kind of difficult when I'm lumped in with this evil monolith that people want to dislike, says Gu of the backlash to her decision. "It's never really about me and my skiing." A flag swap. A headline. A neat little morality play where someone is either loyal or not, grateful or not, ours or theirs. It's the kind of story that fits perfectly inside a tweet, a cable news segment, or a comment section that's already decided how it feels. But Eileen Gu's choice, made in 2019 when she requested the change to compete internationally for China, doesn't behave like a simple story. It refuses to sit still. It keeps slipping out of slogans and back into something messier and more human: identity, opportunity, impact, and a teenager's very modern awareness that sports is never only sports. If you want the real reason, the one that keeps showing up whenever Gu is asked and answers in her own words, it's this: she believed she could matter more, to more kids, especially girls, by skiing for China than she could by skiing for the United States. That's the spine of the story. Everything else is noise. 1. The moment the decision becomes about size. Imagine you're 16 or 17, and you can already feel the future coming at you fast. The Olympic-sized spotlight, the endorsements, the scrutiny, the way strangers will tell you what your life means before you even finish living it. Now imagine you're also bilingual, moving between worlds with the ease of someone who has been doing it since childhood. Your mother's homeland isn't an abstract concept. It's summer visits, family routines, a grandmother's language, a place where you're not a tourist. You're connected. Gu has spoken publicly about being raised partly by her grandmother and about her Mandarin fluency in that context. And then you look at skiing. In the United States, skiing already has idols. It has infrastructure. It has a deep pipeline and a culture that, for all its flaws, knows how to produce champions. Gu herself acknowledged that growing up in the US, she had so many amazing idols. But in China, she saw a different picture, one she described as a smaller, knew a scene that didn't yet have the same breadth of role models, especially for girls. The math of impact changes when you move from a crowded stage to an empty one. In China, she said, there were fewer idols, and she felt she'd have a much greater impact in China than in the US, and that's ultimately why I made that decision. That is not the language of someone choosing a jersey like a fashion accessory. That's the language of someone choosing where a signal will travel farther. 2. It's not loyalty. It's impact. If there's one misunderstanding GU has tried to puncture again and again, it's the assumption that her choice is a referendum on which country she likes more. She has described the backlash in exactly those terms, people insisting it must be about loyalty, and she's pushed back. It wasn't about picking a favorite. It was about what she could do with skiing. This is where the story gets uncomfortable for people who want clean categories. Because if you accept Gu's explanation, then her decision isn't an insult to the United States. It's a strategy. A mission choice. Oh, where can I build something bigger? Question. And you can hear the way she frames it as a purpose, not a provocation. In an Instagram essay quoted by NBC Sports, she wrote that her goal was to globally spread the sport she loves to kids, especially girls, and to shift sport culture toward something motivated by passion. That sentence